Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. So my last video, I talked about some of the big moves I made last Friday when the market was tanking a little bit. It was a bit of a red day and I was making some of these big moves. I was selling some of my yieldmax ETFs and buying bigger dips or positions that I thought were dipping harder in order to try and just seize that opportunity for better upside in the future and stuff that I really believed in. And of course, this didn't seem to go down too well on social media, and I was getting quite a bit of stick for it. So these are some of the comments. So you sold shares when they were down, make 0 cents. Weak source, you panic sold. You're going to miss out on them bouncing back. I've noticed this thing people do. They sell their stocks when they're down to buy the ones that are up. But the market goes in cycles. These stocks will eventually drop too. Then they sell even lower to buy something else that's going up. And the whole thing repeats. This is not a winning strategy. Losing strategy. Classic buy high, sell low. Timing the market is futile. Not a good move. Caused a bit of maybe, they didn't watch the video, or maybe they did and it's my fault and I didn't explain it properly. Because essentially, this is the antithesis, if that's a word, of what I'm all about. I'm all about buying the fear. I'm trying to buy as much fear as possible. I'm trying to buy the bigger dip. I was selling positions that were dipping slightly in order to buy positions that were dipping massively. I wanted to buy into the bigger fear, the bigger dips, to try and gain as much, seize as much opportunity from that downward movement, to try and seize as much opportunity for when it bounces back, stuff that I believe in, like COINBASE, that I believe will have a big crypto run, for the next 3-4 months, and I believe will bounce back to all-time highs. And so that's what I was trying to do. So in this video, I just want to go over that because I just want to explain my strategy here. I feel like maybe it was misunderstood. And so I just want to kind of get it across. I'm not saying that this is the right thing to do. This is just the way I've thought about things. I think this will work. It already has to a certain extent with the MSTW move. But so I'm just going to go over it and kind of explain it in a bit more detail because I think maybe I didn't communicate it properly before. And so that's my bad. So I just want to explain it. And then if everyone still thinks I'm wrong and that this is a losing strategy, then fair enough, comment away. Probably good for the algorithm anyway, so who really cares? All right, so let's get into it. So just a bit of a recap on what I did. So I sold my full position on YMAG and I bought COIW. That's the coin-based Roundhill ETF. And that's the one I got into mostly. I sold YBIT because it's very it doesn't have a huge amount of volatility, doesn't have a huge amount of income, doesn't have much upside potential, and I bought MSTW. That's the MicroStrategy Roundhill ETF. Now, the reason I'm buying the Roundhill ones is because the upside is not capped. The upside is capped on the yieldmax ones, as most people know. So if something goes up 10%, in the yieldmax ETFs, you may get 6-7% of that upside. With the Roundhill ones, they're slightly leveraged. So if something goes up, if Coinbase goes up 10%, you may get 11-12% of that upside because it's actually leveraged to 120%. This is the point I'm trying to make, and I'll try and make this a bit clearer as I go. AMDY, I sold that because I wanted to get into AMDW. This dipped quite hard, and I decided to transfer it into the Roundhill one, AMDW, to get that potential upside as it bounces back. CONY, I just sold that to get more into COIW. I just believe that the next 3, 4, 5 months will be really big for crypto. I think that Coinbase, it had a poor earnings report, or it came out as poor in terms of the market response to it. And so it tanked really hard. Coinbase was down like 15% on Friday. And so COIW, which is a leverage position, was down like 20%. So I wanted to buy into that because I believe the upside will be greater than for CONY, which is capped. The yieldmax ETFs are capped in terms of upside. So I wanted to get into this. PLTY, it was just doing really well. So I sold a little bit to try and get into these because selling slight profit to get into some of these guys. Okay, so I'm going to take an example like YMAG. It was only down 2 or 3%. And I got into this. So I'm trying to sell something that dips just a small amount to buy something that's dipping a lot. And I'll explain it here. So this is the YMAG chart. Right? This is Friday when everything was kind of tanking a lot. And you can see here, this is Friday, 1st of August, it went down. Let's just see the exact percentage. So we'll go down to here. This is like roughly this Friday to Saturday. So Friday, it was down let's say 6%. Okay, so that's YMAG. That was down 2.6%. Now, I sold my full YMAG position because it was only down 2.6%, and I got into COIW, which is the Roundhill Coinbase ETF. And so I got in here. So I took this dip, so I sold YMAG, which was down a little bit, and I bought this dip. So I'll just do it here. So what was COIW was down 20.3%. So 2.5% of YMAG was down like this, and COIW was down 20%, because Coinbase was down 16%. And COIW is a leveraged ETF exposure to Coinbase, the underlying of COIW. But I'm still a big believer. Coinbase hasn't really recovered yet. It's doing pretty badly still. And I've been buying as it's dipped more. I've just been DCAing into it to try and average down. I want to get my average buying position is about $44 on COIW. And for that, I'm really happy with that, because I believe that if we go to, let's go 3 months, I believe that this is a huge dip, and I believe that what's going to happen next in the 3-4 months, that this will recover that amount. So then let's go here. So I've bought down here around, what did I say, $44. So I believe that it will recover to all-time highs around here. That's a 51% increase. That's what I'm risking here. Now, this is not financial advice, please know that. This is just my journey and my thought process on this, because I am kind of going on the fact that there will be a Bitcoin bull run, there will be a crypto bull run, and it's going to come in the second half of this year, maybe September, October, November. We don't know yet. It depends on liquidity and lots of macro factors. But I think that there really will be. And so I'm betting on the fact, and guys, risking it, that this Coinbase ETF from Roundhill will do a lot better than YMAG will. So if we get to all-time highs, then I'll be up 51% in terms of share price. But also, of course, distributions will rise because of that. If we're getting distribution at 70% on $44, then that 70% becomes 70% on $66. So my distributions will increase as the share price increases too. So this is my thought process. Now, I just believe that there's a lot more upside with COIW and MSTW, which is the new MicroStrategy ETF from Roundhill. Now, it's like a week old, and it launched at kind of a bad time because that was that Friday, and it just tanked, right? So this is what I was buying into this dip in MSTW. My average share price is about $44, and I think MicroStrategy is really undervalued right now, and I think it's going to do really well for the second half of this year. I've got a lot of my eggs in that basket. As you know, MSTY is still my biggest holding. Like, if we go back to my holdings, MSTY is still my biggest holding. CONY is still probably my second biggest holding. And then I sold a little bit of PLTY, a little bit of Tesla, and I actually just sold my full AAY position to get more into SMCY, which just tanked, as you may have seen, and to get more into these Roundhill ETFs, COIW mainly, and MSTW, which are weekly ETFs with that 120% exposure. It is a little bit more risky, but for me, I think it will pay off. We'll wait and see. I don't have a crystal ball, not financial advice, just my thought process on this and my thesis going forward. So I just want to show you what this looks like. So I'm selling something that dipped a small amount, YMAG. I sold my full position. It was down about 2.5%, and bought something in a bigger dip that was down 20%. So I was buying into the bigger dip, selling the small dip, buying the bigger dip, buying the bigger fear, and just trying to maximize that opportunity whilst the market was tanking on Coinbase, because it had a poor earnings report. There was a jobs report that was really bad. There was Trump updating stuff on tariffs. Friday was really bad, and there's a lot of compounding things going on that day as well. Now, if we go back to the Coinbase one, and let's just do a month, and then we compare that to one. Hopefully, this will. If I add, this is TradingView, by the way. I've got a couple of questions about this. This is TradingView. You can use this as a free tool or website. You can also pay. I pay because then you can have all your watch list set up. So I have my Roundhill, my yieldmax ones, and you can do all this stuff that really helps you to analyze pricing and just the charts and what you think is going to happen, what's happening with the markets. But here, this kind of analyzes it perfectly, right? So YMAG is kind of stable, like it's not very volatile compared to COINBASE, CONY, COIW. So this is YMAG here in red. Now it went down on, let's just change this to 5 days, it might make it clearer, yeah. So it went down, what, that 2.5% on Friday, and so I sold it here. And so I sold YMAG here, and then COIW went down this amount. This is the difference that it went down, and I bought in here. So I've sold something that's gone down 2.5% and bought something that's gone down 20%. Obviously, it hasn't worked out yet because it's kept going down, and I've just kept buying this dip as much as I can, running out of money, of course, but selling small positions here and there to try and buy this dip because I really believe that Coinbase will recover and that this will do really well towards the end of the year. So this is essentially my thesis: is that I'm selling positions that are less volatility, that don't go up as much and don't go down as much. So it went down here, but YMAG, it's not going to go up 20%, whereas I think Coinbase and COIW will. I think this, I bought here now, so I believe that it will come up. I'll get that extra 20%. So yeah, I'm just selling stuff that's more neutral, that hasn't lost as much of its NAV, and buying the bigger dip, essentially. Now, if we remove this, what's this, the YMAG one, and we go, yeah, let's just go 3 months. I mean, if we look at this from, this was kind of the last, that's COIW. If we go to Coinbase, up here, no, down here, Coin. All right, so the last bull run, so 1 year, right, was that. And we're just below all-time highs. Okay, so we went like that, up there because of all that stable coin legislation. Crypto was taking off. We've got Trump and government. We've got a big Bitcoin National Reserve being talked about. There's so much crypto macro positivity. It's kind of crazy. It's going to be a big supply shock. And so I believe that this is going to go back up here, minimum. I think it will go all-time highs, probably further up than this. I still think that Bitcoin will reach 160, 180 by the end of this year. I think there will be an alt season. So I'm banking on the fact that this, and therefore COIW, does really well the second half of this year. But again, that's just my thesis. That's what my research is based on, and that's my thinking. And so that's my strategy. And like you can see here, so this is COIW versus YMAG. You can just see that the volatility of YMAG, it does okay. It's like a decent thing. It's up 6.4% compared to COIW, which is up 12%. But before this, so this is the dip on Friday, that red day on Friday. COIW was up 48% in comparison to YMAG's 5.99%. So I just think if it comes down here and you buy the dip, then the potential to go up is a lot higher. So again, that's just my theory. I'm selling the small dips, selling the more neutral ETFs to buy the bigger dips, the high volatility, the things that I think will do well for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months, to try and maximize, maximize my income as well as the share price potential. And so now, what have I done since then? Well, I've basically doubled down on this strategy, and I've gone even harder. Now, PLTY has been absolutely smashing it. It has gone up so much. I think it's up to around $74, $75 a share. And so I actually sold a bit of that and bought SMCY. Why? Because I love SMCY, but it didn't have a good earnings report, and it got absolutely smashed in the market. It was tanking. I think it's down even more than this now, 15, 16%. So I sold a bit of this, not a huge portion, just a small portion, to buy the bigger dip. So I was selling something that was profitable to buy something that was dipping large. That I still believe SMCY will do really well for the rest of the next year or so. AI tech, I still think that will do a really good, have a really good performance, especially in terms of volatility. SMCY is one of the best paying distribution ETFs in yieldmax. It basically gives you 100% every single month because it's very volatile. And that's what these fluctuations are going to do. But I'm in profit from PLTY because of this strategy. I bought in the fear. My average price on PLTY is at $60. And now PLTY is trading at $74, $75, which is based on this strategy. You sell us something that's up a little bit or down a tiny bit for something that's down massively that you still believe in, you still think will do well over the next 6 months to a year. AIYY, it's my worst performing ETF. It was up a little bit. I thought, I'm just going to get out of it. I sold the full position to get more into COIW. It went down again. So that dip that we were talking about, it went down another 7%. So it's down 26.5% since that Red Friday. It's crazy. So I still believe that we'll do really well. So that's what I did. I sold my full AIYY position and bought more COINBASE Roundhill position. I actually sold some of my MSTY position. I know people will be like, you're selling your MSTY? It's still my biggest holding. I just sold a small amount of it, but I bought MSTW because it's leveraged. I believe that there'll be greater upside, and I believe essentially that MSTW will do better than MSTY over the next 3, 4, 5 months. Again, I sold the same reason here. I sold a bit of CONY because I didn't have any money left on the sides, and I bought a little bit more in my COIW position. I had some Roundhill distributions, so if we go back to my chart, I've already got the first week of Roundhill. So this is the Robinhood one, the Coinbase one, the MicroStrategy one, and the AMD one. So I bought this as well. And these are my two biggest positions, Coinbase and MicroStrategy. They paid weekly from Roundhill, and I got these as my distribution, so around $800. And so what did I do? Sorry, it's the wrong one. So I used that money to buy a bit more MicroStrategy, Roundhill, MSTW, because I believe that MicroStrategy is really undervalued at the moment, and I believe that it will do really well. Emergency cash, I had some emergency cash and bought AMZW. So that's the Amazon ETF from Roundhill, and that had a slightly poor earnings report, and so that was down 11%, which is massive for a Mag 7 company. And so I thought that was a really good opportunity at the time, and that's actually already up. If we take a look at AMZW, let's see if it's showing it. Let's just say all, and then go here. So I bought down here. I think I bought it on the Monday around here, and it's already recovered quite a bit. So that's exactly what I'm going for. So this is quite a good example actually, where it tanks due to poor earnings or some other macro factors, whatever's going on with the market. It's down, what did I say, 11%, and it's already recovered to 3%. And I believe that that will continue to go up. And therefore, if you buy down here, you're buying the dip, then you're getting all that upside as well as the distributions on top. And that's essentially my strategy. I'm selling the smaller dips or stuff that's in profit that's doing really well, like PLTY. I still think that Palantir is a great company. It's a great stock. But I do think Palantir is slightly overvalued. So I'm willing to just sell a little bit of it to get into stuff that I see as more of an opportunity. And that's essentially my strategy. I'm buying into the fear. I'm buying the bigger dip, and I'm selling either the smaller dip or something that's in a small amount of profit or a bit of profit. From this same strategy that I've used previously, where I've bought into the dips, bought into the fear, and it's now profitable, like PLTY. My average price is $60, as I said. It's now at $75. I'm in like $3,000 or $4,000 of profit on PLTY alone, just on the share price. That's not including distributions. So I can sell a couple of $1,000s of it and buy the opportunities, buy these big dips, and that's essentially my strategy. Right, hopefully that clears it up. I don't know if it does. But anyway, exciting times. I've got lots of investment into these funds, which I think will do really well now, these Roundhill. And you can see my portfolio is kind of changing. Like I just sold my full position. I have to take this one out. I sold small amounts of these, Tesla, PLTY, MSTY, CONY. I bought the SMCY dip, and I bought these Roundhill weekly positions. And I'm just going to keep doing things based on my research, based on my strategy. I hope that kind of clears that up. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm sure there'll be lots of positive comments. Who doesn't love social media, eh? What a place to be. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.